Looks like I'm good.
Sure does.
Oh, because I
Google. Wow.
yeah. I don't. All my family uses the iPhone, iPad, but I use Google stuff.
All right, we got a Burnham Alpine. I'm gonna guess this is a 105.
Yes.
Look at that, 105. Ignition failure. Got a little extra number 15 there, and we have another Alpine next to it. That's for the first floor.
But you're recording or something?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you got a chance, can you just double check that one, the connection, everything? Because like I said, sometimes the screen flips.
That's the screen.
Really?
When the screen acts up, the display module acts up on these things, it's always a display module.
So how expensive is to replace the screen? It's very expensive. Not another $2,000.
If you gotta ask, you can't afford it.
I know, because it's
Deal with it until it's a problem. Because right now, it's working. Okay. All right, we're gonna check this one out. All right, let's pop open the cover. And let's see what's going on in here. So he's getting an ignition fault. Let's take a look at the errors in here. Let's do a lockout history. And we have a lockout history of 24 for the last 4 times.
Mike, where did you park?
In the driveway.
Oh, my driveway?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because Friday, 8 to 10, you cannot park in the street.
Correct.
I don't want to get tickets.
Fuel valve error. So, let's turn off the power to this bad boy, which is going to be right over there. All right. Let's take a look at our flame rod first. We'll get our ground wire and our spark igniter out of the way. And we're going to use a special little wrench here to take out the 2 little screws and see what this looks like. Yeah, that's pretty, oh, look at that, a chunk of its. Try to zoom in on that because people get hungry. Okay. Well, homeowner's in luck because in our trucks, we stock the U.S. boiler Burnham Alpine maintenance and service kits. It's a black box that retails for some substantial amount of money and has all the parts that this thing typically needs to get up and running, with the exception of the gas valve and the blower motor. All right, so in our black box, igniter and gasket kit. This is for the 80 through the 399. There's a nice brand new one, so it's not missing a chunk of it. Not too shabby. There's a gasket that goes on there. And they even give you 2 screws. So we'll let Nick get that bad boy on there. And then we'll restore heat to their home. Beautiful. Evenly tightened up both sides at the same time. Put our ground wire on there. And then the spark cable.
Spark cable goes on here.
And then we'll restore power.
I have one quick question, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since that machine runs a lot more than this machine, because I guess this machine actually can stay, like if there's nobody uses it, they might for a long time without running, but that one seems to run much quicker. So does that mean because the temperature set up too high or something?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, so if the boss machine that nobody uses water, nobody uses heat, nothing, right? This one can stay there for a long time, does not running at all.
Okay.
But the other one sometimes just start running again.
So the one for the second floor, you're saying gets less use than the one for the first floor?
Yes.
Okay.
That's if it's caused by I'm taking a shower or I do a laundry.
Yeah. Well,
that's something else.
if there's less use, I still don't understand the question, but you have a unit for the second floor, a unit for the first floor. You live on the first floor, and which is also incorporates the basement, and you hear this thing run, right? And you use hot water, and you and your wife are home. I don't know if you have kids or not, but does anyone live upstairs?
Right now, no.
Okay.
So no, that's not what I'm saying.
I don't.
What I'm saying is if downstairs we're not using at all, we don't use hot water. We use it.
Okay. The system will still run because you are maintaining water temperature in a tank. You have 2 indirect water heaters next to us that give you domestic hot water for both floors independently.
I agree. I know that.
Yes. So,
however, since they run much less than the first floor,
okay.
I mean upstairs since they can like stay, like let's say overnight sleep, right? Like sleep overnight, nobody use nothing.
Okay.
Probably sometimes I ought to hear the first floor running, but second floor never really runs.
It depends on what the thermostats are set to and temperature of the water, and heat loss, heat gain. That's I still don't understand what you're trying to say. The first floor runs longer and more than the first floor, than the second floor.
Yes. It's not because usage. If you said usage, I understand. If I use a lot more, like in the evening, nobody used it.
Okay. Right now, the boiler's on standby. It's 83 degrees and it's not doing anything. Okay. It's not asking for domestic hot water. It's not asking for heating. Okay. And it's off. Your other boiler is over there, and it's at 153 degrees, also on standby. Right. But like you said, no one's living upstairs. You're living on the first floor. What's the temperature set to upstairs?
Right now it's off. I
Okay. All right. Well, let's turn on the heat so we can test this bad boy. All right. So we have a call for space heating. Drive light off. It takes around 50 seconds. Pre-ignition test. There's our spark ignition. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ignition. For a brief moment. All right, take 2. There's that pre-ignition test after a 60-second delay. We're going to have spark. We're going to have ignition. 3, 2, 1. There's ignition. Briefly stays on this time. Still running. We are running. A nice little blue flame in there. And we're cooking with gas. So, Nick, question. Are we done?
No.
Okay, what's next? Flame went out.
Flame went out. Could it be the sensor?
What sensor?
Flame sensor.
I just cleaned that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Flame sensor, so go down. Pre-purged and fired, so it wouldn't be airbound anyway. test for
55. Pre-ignition test. Here comes the spark. Here comes ignition. No ignition this time. But a hum that we didn't hear before. Now we're doing the purge. That lasts 15 seconds. All right, Nick, gotta use your head. You can't stand here for for all day and use your head. Speak out loud.
So would it be? It did ignite, so it wouldn't be something like this. You move on to test the gas valve itself.
Maybe.
This was clean. We changed this.
Seconds.
Pressure.
Pre-ignition test. 4 seconds. Pre-ignition. Ignition.
And then it dies out.
Mm-hmm. 6.8 on the inlet side. We have 15 seconds remaining on drive, light off. All right, pre-ignition test. Spark. I have no drop.
That's what I thought. Okay.
This is the high temperature limit sensor. So I bypassed it with the jumper wire. This one has never been changed because the new ones, they have wires coming out of it. And then there's a harness, like a Molex connector off of like that, like a pigtail coming out of it. This is the original one that came with the boiler. These are notorious for failing. And it'll do identical what it's doing right now, where it'll try to get to that point, but it won't. I've on Black Friday, when they're closed years ago, I had a customer who was a pilot, flew to Albany and picked up a Sage controller, and the same problem still occurred. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Black Friday, everyone's closed.
Full out.
Right? And so we're gonna see. Let's go back to status. We have, we're at 15 seconds into the countdown, so. Let's see what happens. Conditioning season, you kind of forget.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so 55 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, pre-ignition test. And I still have my manometer hooked up, so 6.7 inches of water column. There's the spark. Let's see if it opens. .0. 6.0. I am running a 6.0. 6.1. 5.86. My rate is 100% fire rate. 5.7, 5.6. I did get it to run like this for a few, maybe 10 seconds, and then it cut out. So let's see, we're at 100% fire rate. My inlet gas pressure is 5.6 inches. Still running. So it looks like we also got to replace the high limit sensor right there. And guess what? It's in the Burnham Alpine service kit, which we have. let's play a game with this. Kill the gas. There you go. So that sensor there is bad. We're going to close this valve. We're going to close that valve. The gas is off. We're going to drain a little bit of pressure out of the boiler and get that sensor out of there. All right, the new sensor is just loosely fit there. I opened this isolation valve, bringing water through the boiler, keeping this closed, open this up into the bucket, got the air out. Now we're gonna tighten that up with a crescent wrench. The sensor is in. See the difference between that one and this one has that wire pigtail coming out of it. So now they'll know it's been replaced. Turn the power back on. Left my little jumper wire there. That could come into use in the future. This thing's gonna fire up, hopefully, after about a minute and a half of safe startup procedures. Let's pop that open and see if there's any more air inside this heat exchanger. So it looks good. Why they don't have an automatic air valve here, that beats me. So let's get that thing ready. Leave it plugged in. Might as well, there's an outlet right there if it doesn't reach. Gotta keep that bad boy charged. Now we're going to do a combustion analysis. We need to be 5.5% on our, right there. Let's take out the flue exhaust and let's see if we can get this bad boy in there. The plug fell out too. Okay, come on. Okay, let me show you. See? There it is. Oh, it went out again, huh? Let's turn this on. It would help if I turned the gas on. Duh, I'm looking at this like, why does it say nothing there? Yeah. Oh, I also need this open too. Oh yeah. Yeah, messed with the big Bertha 105. Huge shout out to US Boiler Tech Support. Phenomenal service. You notice that when you call good boiler companies that your wait time is practically nothing. When you call like, you know, shitty boiler manufacturers, your wait time could be in the excess of hours. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Pre-ignition test. .9, 6.89 inches. Do I have a light on this thing? No, but we have ignition. Okay. And we're gonna check for our O2. That number right there. We need to be 5.5 in high fire. So right now we're running at 100%. Let this thing stabilize because our target is 154, so we may be able to get to there. 5.2, 5.1, 4.9, 4.8, 4.7. Let's see, we're dropping a little bit too much. 4.4. And I don't remember if it's outer ends. Let's do 1, 2. 2 rotations counterclockwise. And that brought us down. Well, sometimes it adjusts. Yeah, it's going down. Okay, let's go half, full. Let's do another half. half rotation. 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. We're at 80%. We're gonna have to put this thing into, we're gonna have to force this thing on. Let's do an adjust. Let's log in. See how it's off. 4.2. Okay, let's do another half a turn. Point 3, 4.4, 4.5. 4.6. We're also trying to beat the clock here before it overheats. 4.8, 4.9, and we're at high temperature. 80%, 90%, sorry. 5.5. We're off now though. All right, we're at the manual firing rate with a low setting. 6.42 inches of water column. 5.3 on the O2. We need to be plus or minus 0.5% at 5.5, so 5.3 is good. Let's clipboard this. Let's get the printer. We'll print the low fire results, and then we will set this to high fire. I have domestic water tank, indirect calling, and the space heating zone, and we're at 118 degrees. Now, let's go to high fire, make another adjustment, and manual control, high fire, and let's see how our results change. Shouldn't really be changing that much. You need to maintain 5.5 plus or minus 0.5%. Too much than the O2. .7. Looks like we're stable at 6.7. Let's see if we can bring that down a little bit. All right, 5.9. So we are within that plus or minus 0.5, 5.5%. Let's clipboard these results. These will be the high fire results. You don't have to hold it, it's just like 2 seconds. All right, and we are done with combustion analysis. Put the fire rate back to auto, and let's back out of this. So right now we're calling for domestic hot water. We're running at 100% with a set point of 180. We did good.